Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talks about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, it's me right now. Joe is on Facebook, and then he has something he has to attend to and should be joining us at some point during the show. When you work with Joe, you gotta be flexible. You gotta be on your toes, and you gotta be able to just dive in. So yeah, I will be carrying us through for the most part. We got, of course, just like every other day, we have a lot to talk about, right? It just never stops. And title episode today, right? It's time for accountability. Plain and simple. Accountability needs to start happening. But you see, when people start being held accountable, there's outrage because people aren't used to seeing accountability, because for so long, anything and everything was basically fair game. The only people that were held accountable were those that stood up at school boards, those that stood up against the vaccine mandates, right? Those were the people, those that speak out against DEI initiatives, and that those are the ones that have been held accountable. So now when the shoe's on the other foot, and you can see we got a very special guest in studio right now, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Joe Oltmann popped in. Here he is. So yeah.
What's up, Patrick?
Hey, Joe, good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, brother.
But yeah, we saw what was going on, so we just hopped in and just got it going. Sorry, man.
Hey, no, I'm glad you did. It's been a crazy couple days.
Yeah.
To say the least. And I can kind of give you an update.
Let's do it.
You want to do a kind of update? Kind of update to the update?
Let's see what we can do. We have a post from you from earlier that you posted, I am prohibited from talking about, but we could put that up, right? We could talk about that?
Yeah, we can. Let's put that up.
All right. A1 Damon, please.
Just trying to get us up. Okay. Whew. So we had the Coomer deposition yesterday for Patrick Byrne. I am prohibited from talking about the specifics of the deposition, but I can tell you this. Eric Coomer will not be able to run away from his lies for much longer. The clock is ticking in so many ways. His lawyer, Charlie Kane, assaulted Peter Tickton, is yet another example of the thuggish, unhinged behavior. I pray he loses his bar card for assaulting an almost 80-year-old man who was pretty tough, by the way. With that said, we have been meeting about the extortion, lying, and bullying by Eric Coomer's attorneys, Charlie Kane and Brad Clower. They have put these unhinged lies in filings. Both of these men have spent 5 years lying and actively covering the fraud against the American people. They stood up Eric Coomer and allowed someone who clearly stated Trump was not going to win. He made effing sure of it. Who had the means, the sentiment of radicalism, and the character to match to subvert our election systems. The thing about time is truth comes to the surface, and when it does, consequences follow. Over the next couple of months, we will seek accountability against his unethical lawyers, the judges, the media, and the many people on social media who have maliciously and consistently defamed me, Patrick, and so many others. As for the other side of the legal coin, stand by. Things are definitely moving. I have absolute confidence that accountability is coming. Pray, stand, speak, act. Ephesians 6:10, which obviously, if you know what that means, it's put on the full armor of God. Now, I put this up this morning, and what happened right afterwards?
Talking about Fulton County?
Fulton County.
Yes, sir.
So it's important when you look at Fulton County. Do you want to put that up?
A4, Damon, please.
So this is Nick Shorter's post. The FBI just executed a warrant at the Fulton County, Georgia election head HQ, pretty much ground zero for voter fraud in the 2020 election. For Fox News, this raid is related to the 2020 election. This is going to get interesting. Okay, so let me tell you what's going to happen. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I put up a post. Let's see if you can find the post from earlier. And the post was the one that I put up 2 weeks ago. I put it up 2 weeks ago. And I got called. Everyone said to me, Joe, who's your source? I had this guy, Brian Cates, that came out and it's like, you're not allowed to talk about military secrets. It's not military. It's not military. It's accountability. And by the way, I always come straight through the front door. Patrick, if I have something to say, do I not come through the front door?
Yeah, he does.
Do I lollygag around?
No.
Yeah, I just tell you how it is. I will come in and I will be like, listen, this is how it is. And if you don't like it, it's okay. You don't have to like it. I'm not going to get mad at you for it, right? I'm not going to get mad at you for it. But I will come through the front door. I'll just kind of walk through the front door.
I respect that, by the way. I love it. It's refreshing.
Everyone that has worked for me for years knows where I'm coming from, know that there's no politics in what I say, that, I'm honest in my dealings, period, end stop. And so as a result of that, I don't have problems. I don't have this thing that happens in my business, right?
Yeah.
But the same thing can be said for when I put this post up. You see that post?
I'm digging for it right now.
Yeah. This post was quite telling. Let me see if I can find it.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I remember it.
It was 2 Saturdays ago. And it was in the morning, and I got a call, and they're like, Joe, can you do this? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I was hesitant. I was hesitant to do anything because I go, look, is this one of those like hopium things? They're like, Joe, it's not hopium. I need you to poke the bear. And I go, okay, I'll poke the bear. No problem. Let me see if I can find it real quick. What was 2 Saturdays ago?
12th?
Was it the 12th?
That's too far back.
Yeah, put my glasses on. You guys get to hear all this. Put up comments, by the way, so I can figure out what people are saying.
I'm close.
You there? Oops. So it's the 14th. We had the 14th. Chicken and egg. Chicken and egg. Chicken and egg. What was it? What was it 2 weeks ago Saturday?
Let's see here. 17th.
Was it 17th?
24th is past Saturday, and then
No. 17th. One before that.
the 17th, and then before that would be the 10th.
10th. Okay, so the 10th is when I put it up. So let's see here. Let me get back to the 10th. Because I remember it was a breaking post. And everybody's like, you're oh, that's right, because Bongino, he blocked me that day. I remember. Okay, here we go. Brian Cates bullshit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let me read this to you. So yeah, I can tell you what's about to happen. And
The sources told me, right? That post?
the sources, yeah.
Is that the one?
What day is it?
Sources told me. January 10th.
Okay.
We going to war just...
There we go. So let me push this out to you. This is sorry guys. See if I can do this all at the same time. Here we go. All right. There. Wow. So same source that told me we were going to war just a week before 47 plucked Maduro out of his nation just told me this. The next 2 weeks will bring indictments and arrests for former Dominion Voting Systems employees and state and federal sitting and former representative leadership across the nation. I pray that God protects those seeking to free the people from the state by state treason, which has occurred. This will mean no machines, no mail-in ballots, in-person voting with an ID, and the undoing of the massive amount of fraud, grift, and theft against the American people. Let my people go. Okay, so why do you think they went to Fulton County?
Because what happened down there in 2020.
And do we think that this is going to lead to massive numbers of arrests?
I'm hoping it does. It needs to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't think that that is the ultimate goal, is that he's going to get to the bottom of it, you think he's going to go through 4 more years after he gets out? You think he's going to let himself get impeached by a bunch of radical leftists that are just unhinged devil worshippers? You think that's going to happen?
No, well, that's the only thing that makes me believe he's going to get this done, because he knows what's coming from, he should know what's coming from him on the back end of his presidency.
Yeah.
He knows it's going to be over for him if they have a chance. So he needs to do what he needs to do. So, yeah.
And I mean, and so there's a reason why he hasn't enacted the Insurrection Act, because it has to be a consequence to their behavior, which is why he sent Holman up to Minneapolis or to Minnesota. That's why he then sent a sitting 3-star general up to Minnesota to say, let me tell you what's going to happen next, buddy boy. Mm-hmm. And then what happened? They started cooperating.
Yep. You had police on the streets 2 nights ago arresting protesters. You have video coming out of Minneapolis State. It looks pretty quiet, and they're actually in the neighborhoods going door to door, picking people up. They're not getting... It's amazing how things have changed.
Where are the protesters?
Exactly.
Where'd they go?
No.
Guys, where did the protesters go?
Couldn't tell you.
Where are the whistles and where are all the protesters?
Mm-hmm.
So let me just tell you what I think happened. I think this happened. I think Tom Holman went up there and said, well, let me just tell you what's going to happen next. And then they saber rattled a little bit and they postured up a little bit. And then he goes, okay. General comes in and says, this is what's called sedition. I'm going to give you one opportunity to comply, or you're going to be tried for sedition, for treason. And then old Tim Walz is like, I don't think that the guys inside of the radical left camp are going to help me. And then the lieutenant governor probably got brought in there a little bit. And they said, listen, we're going to pick up all these illegals, and you're going to stop creating this mass thing and making sure people get paid. And then they went and arrested a dozen or so protesters. And then all of a sudden, now they're like, oh, well, we don't have an appetite for it anymore, because the charges that they're going to be charged with is going to be something dramatic.
That's great. It needs to happen. It needs to happen.
That's what I think happens.
Hope it does. Apply max pressure, use leverage. I'm going to have to use it out here, too, in Colorado when ICE comes.
I agree with you. And they're here.
Mm-hmm.
You did hear about that, right?
I saw a picture, I think it was on your X account, of the ICE vehicles on the rig coming across I-70.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they are here. All right. I'm going to leave you with some of this stuff. I've got to quickly jump out. I'll be gone for like 20 minutes. I got to go get another court hearing that I have to do, so I'll let you do that. I'm going to leave you with something that I think you guys should know, if you're in Colorado especially. I put up a Facebook post right before I got on the show, and that Facebook post addressed a few things. 1, Coomer. 2, what's happening in Fulton County, and this is just the beginning. 3, something I don't ever want to have to talk about, which is this ridiculous indictment by Victor Marx that somebody is attacking his family. It's just not true. Like, I've never attacked any man's family ever. I've never attacked anyone's kids. I find it, I would never do it. I have reviewed some of this information he said is an attack on his family. I can't find any attacks on his family. I mean, there are questions, there are people questioning who he is. But that, I mean, look, I don't even pay attention to that at all. But to say that those are attacks, this is a man that says that he's a man of God. If you're a man of God, Victor, then stop lying. Stop lying. or you're not a man of God and you're just driving people to come over and harass me over something that I never did. I have never, let me just say it again, I have never, ever, 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 ever attacked another person's family, kids. It would never happen. It would never happen. I don't even attack Victor, and I don't trust him. Not because I don't trust him because he's a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. Because he flip-flopped on Tina. And Tina is literally the one person in my life that I have protected her through this entire deal. She's in jail right now. We financially support her. And if you don't follow the case, then you shouldn't open your mouth and say that she's guilty of anything, because she's not. That's it. All right, so I'm gonna leave you with him for a minute. I'm gonna go over there, and if you hear me yelling from the other room, it's because I have to deal with Charlie Kane again. All right.
All right. Well, hopefully I keep the show afloat while you're handling business.
Just go do your thing.
Will do. So see everyone, Joe's alive, Joe's well, Joe's busy, Joe's on the move always. That's what I've learned working here. But I've also learned you can't hit a moving target. So he stays busy, but he fights the good fight. And what he says is true. He lets you know where you stand. The guy does not sandbag. He is. Don't get me wrong. Joe's intense. Joe is definitely intense. He brings it, but he is true with what he says. So yeah, man stands on principles, and you got to respect that, especially this day and age where not that many people do that anymore. And typically, the ones that do stand on principles wind up becoming the enemy of everyone else. And that's because people that have principles say the truth, say things that matter, and those things typically hurt. And it's typically the communists that get hurt by it because feelings matter more than facts and principles. And that seems to be the day that we kind of live in. So, it's a daily occurrence. It's a daily occurrence. But when accountability comes, accountability is always ugly. Everyone wants accountability till accountability comes to their doorstep. Right? Joe's been dealing with that for 5 years. That is a long time.
Sorry.
That is a long time to deal with getting justice and being vindicated for being correct, but yet being defamed and your life ruined, or not ruined, but completely thrown up into shambles just because you have the truth. But God strictly does not give people things they cannot handle. So people that get dealt these hands, that are put through hell, are specifically given these hands dealt because they're the strong ones that could ride the wave. Right? That's the truth of it. He's going through something. I'm going through something. I truly believe people are put in these positions because they're the right people to do the job. And then somehow I'm able to join up with this guy. God's at work. 100% God's at work. But that's for a way later episode. Just God's at work all the time. So you got to remember that when things are hard, when you're down in the dumps, when you think there's no path forward, no way out, things can't get any worse. Just remember, God's there. God's working. You may not see it. You may not believe it. But he's there doing it. He's there doing it. And it's a remarkable experience when you feel it touch you, when you realize that you have been put in a place for a reason, and then you got to carry that with you. You have to wake up every day knowing, regardless of how hard things are, regardless of the sacrifices you have to make on the daily, you're being chosen to carry and see something through, because the greater good is what is needed, and you're the vice. You are the ship carrying it. Joe's the ship carrying it on one end. I'm carrying something else, right? It's all intertwined as we take on these communists that are trying to take over our country, right? Like, that's the truth of it. They're already taking over this state. This state, my Lord, woo! Communists everywhere. And that's the thing, like, I refuse now. I'm making it a decision. I am no longer calling it the Democratic Party. I may slip and say liberal every once in a while, but going forward 100%, they are the Communist Party. I don't care there's a D next name, it's a C, right? It's the hammer and sickle. They are coming nonstop, full force. They are letting you know, right? And I'm glad immigration's still going on in Minneapolis. I'm glad. I want to see it continue, right? It needs to happen. Illegal immigrants are political capital. Period. End stop. They take away the American voice. They take away American representation. They take away American taxpayer dollars. Enough is enough. The handouts are over. The grifts are over. Time to put Americans first. Stop stepping over us. Stop putting us in the back of the line. And the other thing with the judiciary, we need to start putting pressure on our state legislatures and our congressional leaders to begin impeachment investigations into criminal judges. Also, we need to start putting pressure on our state legislatures and our people in Congress to start writing laws to actually hold judges accountable for repeat offenders that they release into our communities. Right? It is way too long, way too much that this has been going on. Right? And enough of the social justice movement. The social justice movement, maybe the intention might have been good, but the reality is the social justice movement simply puts Americans more at risk every day. Whether it's through the release of repeat offenders, he cannot be rehabilitated because his IQ is too low. So instead of putting him into a mental hospital and forcing them into that, nope, we got to let them roam the streets and then they could reoffend, but yet still not be held accountable by trying to forcibly take kids off playgrounds or assaulting women running in parks. Right? Like, yeah. Communism in America. Stepping over the bodies of Americans to ensure mass chaos exists on the streets so Americans are fearful. Yeah. Communism 101. That's the communistic playbook. And speaking of communism playbook, let's stay on the Colorado theme. We got a whole block later in the show just dedicated to Colorado and the Gulag state out here on what this state actually is. Right? I believe we rival California. It's pretty impressive. It really is pretty impressive what has happened to this state. But let's take a look at this post from the Rocky Mountain Voice. It's in regards to the Denver mayor, Mr. Mike Johnston. I don't live in Denver County, so yeah, but it's an impact in the Denver metro and throughout just Colorado politics. So the Rocky Mountain Voice puts up that Denver mayor says he'll resist federal immigration enforcement if ICE comes to the city, signaling open defiance of federal law while crime and homelessness spiral. All true. And once again, you have these communists using their rhetoric. Communists use rhetoric in order to stoke their people and get them fired up. And if you've been following the show the past couple of days, we had a state senator, we've had a House of Rep, both of them speaking about openly resisting ICE. One of them talking about how we need to abolish ICE, and the other one talking about how you need to join the Colorado Mobilizing app, referencing the same type of movement as we've seen take place in Minneapolis, which leads to mass chaos on the streets, which leads to law enforcement officers being assaulted, put in difficult spots, which then eventually leads to more heightened conflict between civilians and armed officers, and then, bad things happen from there. It all starts from the rhetoric. It all starts from the communists saying, no, 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 no. The TDS is a real thing. Anything that comes out of this administration, whether it's to change the vaccine schedule for children, if it's about eliminating DEI in practices, it's about deportations and immigration enforcement. Anything this guy does, it's no, 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 no. And then they rally against it, and then they protest, and then they cause chaos, and then they cause destruction, and then they cause an overreaction, then causes us to pull back a little bit, which then succeeds space to them, right? It's an ever-ending cycle, and these leftists are continuously funded by the same NGO, Democratic Socialists of America, right? People have heard about this organization. People know, sing them. lives in China, American citizen, funds this organization. We need to start cracking these RICO charges to bust up the funding of these operations, because when these operations don't have funding, guess what? You don't have paid protesters. Guess what? Nobody's out in the streets of Minneapolis when it's 20 degrees. Okay? I guarantee you, no communist cares that much about a political belief to go freeze their ass off in the city of Minneapolis when it's 20 or 0 degrees outside. Guaranteed. Because communists are lazy. They don't work hard. It's about the collective, right? So, like, they're not going to actually sack up and go out there free of charge. That's the funny part. Communists want to get paid to protest. That's the funny part. They want to actually use free market principles to get paid to try and implement a communistic society. These people, dude, these people are beyond next level. The hypocrisy that drains off of them, right? Michelle Obama, be mindful. $1,200 skirt, mansion in Martha's Vineyard. Guys, remember that? Remember when Governor Abbott down in Texas started shipping all the illegals that were coming over? They actually bust them up to Martha's Vineyard. And within 24 hours, all those communists up there, you know, my mansion's got 10 bedrooms, 20 toilets, 15 showers, got a chef, got acres of land. No, too crowded up here. No, right? So you know their communist talk is all bullshit, because they didn't welcome any of them. They got the chartered buses rolling as quickly as they could to get them off that island. Man, they didn't want to see it. Not in my backyard. Not in my backyard. Right? George Carlin, one of the greatest comedians ever, hits it so hard perfectly, his routines in the 80s, 90s, right? The dude was he was in tuned. But that one of that skit, not in my backyard. And he's so right, right? These communists want open borders. They want collectivism, except for themselves. You know, how's Harris doing, right? How's climate change doing? Buying what, a $7.9 million mansion right next to the ocean over in Pacific Ocean in California? Climate change, bullshit, right? All they do is lie. And it's amazing to me that these non-thinking entities on the street still can't, it is so blatantly in your face. Like if you're one of these communist street shock troops, like when you see this over and over again, even like you're brain dead, but like there's not a spark of like, wow. What they're doing actually contradicts what they're telling me. Like that never comes. Jeez, like it never comes. And it's fascinating. I just don't understand it. I guess I feel bad for them, but I shouldn't feel bad for them because they're coming for me. They don't realize they're coming for me, but I realize they're coming for me. And if you're watching this show and you're a conservative, you realize that they're coming for you too. Right? It's just interesting times. That's why accountability needs to come. You got to start slapping people in cuffs. You got to start perp walking them. Let's roll out the military tribunals at need be. I'm down. Let them cry. Let them lose their minds. Let them throw their tantrums. Let's roll in the National Guard. Make sure everything's all peaceful and quiet when they're screaming and crying. But accountability needs to happen. You got to rip that Band-Aid off, right? Everyone screams right away. As a little kid, they'll scream, my arm. But 5 seconds later, all better. Right? That's what needs to be done to heal this nation. I believe that's the only thing that can be done to heal this nation, because by doing that and then exposing all of the ill wills, what the communists actually stand for, maybe we'll wake up enough of the non-thinking people on that side to be like, give up on the hope and the belief that communism is a better way of life, even though it's failed pretty much everywhere it's ever been, and usually at the deaths of millions of people. But let's bring that to let's bring that right here to America, the flagship shining light on the hill where anyone in the world would love to live. Right? But hey, our Colorado people, let's remember the state senator that was calling for the doxing of ICE agents and arming the resistance. Her name is Julie Gonzales. She represents the Denver metro area. And our other state rep, Yara Zokaie, she's from Fort Collins. All right, so just remember those names. I might have butchered it. I also have a thick accent, so sometimes it's hard to understand what I'm saying sometimes. But those are the two communists out here in Colorado talking about abolishing ICE and let's dox them and let's be part of the resistance. How do you say we're not in the middle of an insurgency when this is the language the other side is using? Be part of the resistance. The resistance of what? Enforcement of laws? Like that's where we are? That's what you want to resist, the enforcement of law. Okay. That's the resistance they're looking at. The enforcement of law. That's what they hang their hat. Why? Oh, no, this is stolen land. No one's illegal. All this, right? Okay, all right. Well, State Senator, Representative Yara, how many do you harbor in your house? How many of them are you paying on your specific dime? How much food are they eating out of your specific fridge? Right? None of that crap happens. You know that. The haves and have-nots. You guys are not touched by this, right? Just like those members in Congress, just like governors, right? They're never touched by this stuff because they don't need to be touched by it. They don't associate with members of the community. When they do, they have security, armed security, mind you, around them 24/7. They got gates around their homes. They got locks on their doors, but yet they don't want locks on their borders to their country. Why? Because they know the people coming into this country won't come for them. They won't be able to reach them. So they don't care what happens to us down below. I'm glad Trump's out there cleaning up the streets, legitimately. And if you look at it, crime's down across the nation. I give the guy credit. He doesn't get enough credit for that. But it's because the politicians know he will crack down, right? He did platform on bringing crime down, and he's doing a really good job at that nationally. There are definitely pockets of cities and states, typically blue, that the crime is still kind of up, but the messaging across the nation's out there that if you're not enforcing laws and not making your cities safer or purposefully, we would come in, right? And he went into Baltimore, he went into DC, right? Trump wasn't playing around, and that messaging got out. Messaging got out around ICE. People cried about it, but once again, accountability. Streets are getting safer. Streets are getting safer. But we did have something happen yesterday that Ilhan Omar, our Somali sister, she got sprayed yesterday. She got assaulted at a town hall. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was traumatic. Absolutely traumatic. Got sprayed with apple cider vinegar. Listen, approaching a politician in a threatening manner, throwing stuff on them, not appropriate. Okay? But it is funny how this all of a sudden happens after she's being investigated by Congress, after the Somali fraud explodes in her district, after she goes from being piss poor broke, worth over $30 million, after the deportation stuff comes down in Minneapolis, then this happens. It looked a little fishy. Let's roll it.
As Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God! Oh my God! He sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked.
No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
Yeah, so that happened. I don't condone this. Also doesn't look really organic. Once again, one man's opinion. None of that looked really kind of believable. I'm more inclined to believe this is some type of staged event to gain some type of sympathy for her. Just my belief, because if someone really wanted to make a point of her in that type of setting, that dude definitely probably could have. Not saying you should, but if there was something that dude was trying to do and get a message out there, that was a complete fail. So in my eyes, this looks like something that was probably coordinated out of camp in order to kind of garner some sympathy for her at this point before she gets arrested and deported. I don't know, right? Didn't she do marriage fraud too? Didn't she marry her brother? I think I read somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. But you know, accountability is ugly. Accountability is ugly. So the gentleman that did do this to her, his name is Anthony Kazmarsak. And if you pull this post up, Damon, there you go. You guys see him on the screen. It appears that he might be the parent of some communist in training. Democrats really want you to believe that Anthony Kazmierczak, the man who sprayed Ilhan Omar with an unknown liquid at the Minneapolis town hall last night, is MAGA. And then there are some pictures him posting with him and his kids, I believe. There are also other posts out there showing like he might have some MAGA post he put out recently over the past couple months. Who knows? But that's the guy. And if you actually see some of the other videos out there, there's actually a video of him sitting, a camera still shot of him before the attack. Just not before what he did. I shouldn't say attack. Oh, it's still determined whether he was arrested, but they're not determining it. They haven't determined if charges are going to be pressed yet against him. Right? But bet you there's they, them in the pronouns in that section. But yeah, net worth of zero, coming to this country, then has the nerve to call this country systemically oppressive, racist, minorities can't succeed, all white people are bad, believer in equity. So how does she get to be worth $30 million and sit in Congress if we're systemically oppressive and minorities can't achieve? How did she get to have that? How'd you get a piece of the pie? Right? Because if we don't allow black or brown people to succeed ever in this country, she wouldn't be allowed to sit up there and collect this check and then have the nerve to sit up there and then talk shit to the American people and then spit in our face. She is the most disgusting member of Congress, in my opinion. She is not worth a damn. She is one of the reasons why this country is in the complete debacle it's in, because it's racist bullshit out of her communist mouth that stoke people, that brainwash people. She knows what she's doing when she speaks. She knows what she's doing when she throws her weight and support around certain initiatives that come out of Congress. She knows exactly what she's doing. And that's the thing. These people come here, and then they come here to destroy the country. For what? For why? This country that has now offered you a place to live, a safe haven. Why don't you go back to that shithole country, Somalia? Right? You're acting in Somalia's best interest. Why don't you go back there? Because you know how shit that country is. That's why. But yet you'll stay here, keep talking shit, part of the grift, collect the American dollar, and then spit in the American people's face, and then the white communists eat it up. They get it dished on their face, and they just sit there. Yeah, Omar, give it to me, baby. That's how pathetic the communists on the right are. That's how pathetic white liberals are. That's how pathetic they are. That you allow this, support it, donate to it, and then whatever she says, you jump at the whistle. Like, you people are pathetic and weak. That's what all of you are. You communists, you disgusting, low-level traitors to this country. The greatest country ever founded that allows anyone to succeed in, to come to this country and live their life. You guys are destroying it. You are destroying it, you pieces of filth. We need to get all those hate. We need to get all those American-hating members out of Congress. They need to go. You run for office to actually destroy the government and the lives of the people, and to take away from people that have worked hard and have broken the chains, right? Like, all these people, they minimize and they actually eliminate all the feel-good stories out of black, brown America. All the Hispanic and black kids that made it from nothing, that decided to make choices differently than the majority of the people in their community would make on the daily, so that they could rise up and succeed in America and have values and have a family and pass a legacy on. These communists take that away from them. Just like the communists in the school system say that the school system is systemically racist and oppressive towards black and brown kids. You take away from every black and brown kid that actually succeeds at school when you say that. That's what you communists do. You don't believe black and brown people can achieve when they can. Racist, fascist, communists need to go. Need to go. Mayor Johnston in Denver, when ICE comes here, you're going to be part of the problem with these 2 other reps. You're going to get people all fired up, get them out in the streets, creating chaos in the streets that will then put people more at risk. Instead of just handing over the criminal illegal aliens that continuously reoffend the community that you're protecting as an elected representative, you are keeping your populace at risk by allowing reoffenders that are criminal illegal aliens back into your population. Why do you keep doing that? Because you love the chaos. You get off on the chaos. You need the chaos. It's a money grift for you as well. All of you dirty communists. Accountability needs to come. And it's coming. It was great hearing Joe talk about that, right? What he can talk about anyway, right? It was fun seeing that post up there. That is all good stuff. Right? That's what we need, right? That's what our right side is looking for, is we're looking for accountability. And we're not looking for the accountability of the crooked-toothed Somalian with an IQ say, oh, I got a fraudulent daycare. Right? No, I don't know. No. Just boot that asshole out of the country. Next. Right? Like, all right, we're not going to prosecute you. Here's your one-way ticket. Go. Right? I'm talking about the ones up top, the fundings, the ones that are in government, the ones that are part of the NGOs, the ones that are part of the state legislature that are facilitating these, or turning a blind eye. Or actually, I would imagine somebody set up workshops for all of this. I want to know where those workshops were. I want to know who taught the Somalians the paperwork and the processes. Who did that? Right? Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Time for accountability. Need to get these people. This is our only shot. Legitimately. This is our only shot. Trump's got one shot and one shot only to get all this right. And I know he's taking a lot of heat. I know I've talked some smack about the guy. That's fine. I continuously think there's more he can do. But I believe he is doing some things here that could actually turn the tides for us. And that's what we need. Because if the midterms come and the election stuff is not handled, right, I believe what's happening in Fulton County is huge. And it's coincidentally right after the Coomer deposition. That is fascinating to me. There are no coincidences. Okay? So if Trump gets this right, he has one shot at this. He needs to get this right. And if we get this right, we could possibly restore America greatness. We could possibly restore the beauty of America. We could possibly bring back the mantra of anybody can achieve in America. We could bring back meritocracy, right? Because we will root out finally the communist takeover throughout our institutions, all tied to our electoral system. Right? One fell swoop. It will be shocking. It will be ugly. It will be beautiful. It would be beautiful to me. But a lot of people would I don't know, they would go into shock. But if one guy can do it, it can be him. It can be him. Right? And then you got to deal with the rhetoric of these jerk-offs too, right? Like, they don't stop. They demonize ICE at every turn, call them Nazis. Like, and you're talking about elected officials. Waltz was doing it. Fry was doing it. Okay, Obama said some stuff. Not while he's president. Not to mention, by the way, fun fact, just take a look how many people were killed by ICE under Obama. And the left and the commies had nothing to say. Right? Because unfortunately, stuff happens when law enforcement is put in these spots. And I know they're trained. I get it. I'm not saying this guy is innocent. But these things can be avoided if the rhetoric from the commies would stop, and the commies in the cities would actually support the federal enforcement agencies coming in to carry out these, right? All this stuff is avoidable. It is completely avoidable. But listen to this guy. This is Larry Krasner. This is going to be the DA out of Philly. Let's play B3.
This is a small bunch of wannabe Nazis. That's what they are. In a country of 350 million, we outnumber them. If we have to hunt you down the way they hunted down Nazis for decades, we will find your identities. We will find you. We will achieve justice.
That's an AG. That's an attorney general in Philadelphia, backed by Soros, mind you. Big surprise. But is that not inciting people? Is that not actually laying the foundation for how ICE officers need to be viewed by the public, or at least from the commie side, right? No dialing down the rhetoric. We're going to find you. We're going to get you, Nazis, right? All this, right? So if you hear this enough and enough and enough, it gets programmed into your head that rationally they are a Nazi. So what I do to them is acceptable. You keep doing that enough of these commie shock troops are going to get programmed to believe that ICE agents who are actually Nazis, and then they'll be okay to assault them and kill them because, hey, I'm killing a Nazi. Like, that's what's being done here. And ICE is far from a Nazi patrol. Like, these dudes are so off base, they don't know history, but they use the language to inflame others. The communists are masters of the language. They know what they're doing with it. They know when to dial it down. They know when to turn it up. They know just enough how to keep it where it favors them without drawing too much heat on. And it also helps when the media is in your pocket too, and you don't really get called to the carpet, right? Thank God for independent journalists these day and age, the ones that actually like get some good reporting done, that put real good stuff out there on X, on Facebook, on Truth, right? Because without those people doing the real work, and if we had to rely on the Communist News Network or just the ABCs or the NBCs, and even Fox, man, Fox ain't that great. Fox ain't nothing, right? Like, it's not, it leans conservative, but it's not what it needs to be. No way. It's not even close to what it should be, right? But that's all by design. That's also for a different topic. We can get into the media. That's a different topic. We should all know that. Excuse me. But yeah, the communists know, like, they don't get held accountable in our society because they got the position of power, they got the media, and they got the courts. So how do you fight back all three of these? You gotta fight it back in the way we do it every day here, airing the facts out there, talking to the people, carrying the message out there. Once again, any communist, if you're interested in debating with me on show, please feel free to reach out. It's Patrick at Untamed, UNTAMED nation.com. I would love to have you commies on and just tell me why you think your way of life is better, and, you know, where has it succeeded, and just how this is going to work. And why do you hate America so much? A country where you can talk shit about publicly and nothing happens to you. If you talk smack about another country in this country, though, some things can happen. I don't know if people have been paying attention to the news or not. I also believe the new mayor of Miami sent a patrol out to a house because of a post. So I should watch what I say there, right? We might be trending towards European or England status, right? But better believe we got a taste of it in 2020 under the Biden regime, right? With X and all this, right? I know Musk owns X now, right? People feel better about that. No, I don't. All it takes is one person to say, I don't agree with this, and he has too much power to control free speech, right? And then the government has too much power to control what he produces on his platform, right? It's just too much. There's too much wishy-washy. Even Rumble's supposed to be a free speech network? No, right? So, like, even free speech is like you legitimately have to record yourself and put it out on your own independent platform. Like, that's where we're at in America at a certain point, right? Like, we got to start scaling this back somehow. That's also another topic for a different show. But the DA of Philly going out there talking about openly wanting to dox ICE agents, we're going to get you, right? So they're telling you they're going to prosecute these ICE guys. They're going to prosecute them. Just wait if the left gets back into power. That's why Trump has this one shot to get it right, and he's Maduro. Coomer deposition. Fulton County search warrant. Right? Maybe. Because he's got one chance to get this right. So I understand you got to get the ducks lined up accordingly the whole way through. I completely understand that. Because if he doesn't get it right and they come back into power, ICE agents are going to be arrested throughout this country, mark my words. And they're not going to be arrested at the federal level. They're going to be charged in local jurisdictions, at county, city, and state levels. They're going to make sure they get these ICE agents any which way. And then they'll actually charge these ICE agents as domestic terrorists. Actually, that might be the DOJ coming in. Yeah, they might do the DOJ coming in over the top when the commies come back in, because that'll look real nice for them, charging them as domestic terrorist ICE agents. I could see that happening. Yeah, so either one way or the other, locally or federally, they would probably wind up getting charged once the presidency switches. That's why we need to get this right, because those dudes do not need to be charged for this. They are doing the work. They are doing what needs to be done in order to regain control of this country across all aspects. Representation in Congress, allocations of financial resources, right? Think about how much public funds, just facts, how much money, how much public funds illegal aliens take from the system are responsible for. Healthcare alone. It's the truth. Healthcare alone, how much are illegal aliens responsible for? They go to the hospital because they know they'll get care. They know the hospital can't refuse them care, and they know the hospital will pass the cost on to somebody else. Why your insurance rates are so high? There you go. Someone's got to pay for the free health care that's been getting dished out for the years now. Who's got two thumbs, right? Two thumbs, point them inward. This guy, right? Bring that back. It's the truth of it. Same reason for car insurance. Same reason. There's been a lot of accidents with uninsured drivers, and insurance companies have taken massive losses. Therefore, they need to make up those losses. Where does that go? Ready? Two thumbs, point them up to the sky, turn them back 45 degrees, point inward, see yourself, smile and say me, right? So yeah, I know it's not perfect, but those things need to get cleaned up for some relief. And then to make sure we actually have accurate representation in Congress going forward. Representation of the American people, right? Because when Congress was enacted, right, I guarantee the founding fathers did not envision representation being the way it is now. There's no way. They were smarter than that. So yeah, things need to be done to get this rebalancing correct. Because the path forward is unattainable. It can't be done. So there needs to be massive changes and accountability across the board. And maybe that's what's starting to come. And just speaking about accountability, the Philadelphia DA, right? Just real quick, they had 200, where was it? They had 269 homicides in 2021, first year Biden in office, down to 222 homicides first year Trump in office. So you're looking at 40 less homicides in a year. I'm not saying Trump's on the ground there in Philly, right? But the knowledge that got out that Trump will send in troops to jurisdictions that are not protecting the communities got out. And then these DAs, I guarantee this DA didn't want the smoke of the National Guard coming in. So I bet you the DA went down to the police chief and said, hey, I need you to start stepping up patrols more, act more of a deterrent, make people a little more aware that police are in the area. And that's really what a lot of it takes, is just presence. Right? That's not an occupying force. That's like, yeah, I'm not going to shoot somebody because a cop's over there on the corner. Common sense. I'm not going to shoot up this 8-ball because the cop's over there. Right? It just makes people behave better. That's the reality of it, right? So there is a thing to that. And then you have another AG candidate. This is an attorney general candidate in the state of Ohio. His name is Elliot Forhan. And he has a very special message for President Trump. Let's listen to this rhetoric out of B4.
Hi, this is Elliot Forhan, candidate for Ohio Attorney General. I want to tell you what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump. I mean, I'm going to obtain a conviction rendered by a jury of his peers at a standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, based on evidence presented at a trial conducted in accordance with the requirements of due process, resulting in a sentence duly executed of capital punishment. That is what I mean when I say that I am going to kill Donald Trump.
Hey, Kyle Clark, I'm going to clip this up and send it to you. Okay, buddy? And I want you to play that one on 9 News. Okay, I want you to play that for us. And I want you to tell me the difference between him and Joe. And I want you to tell me that guy's actually better than Joe. Joe actually lined out why someone should get tried. Treason, sedition, go to trial, punishment by death, right? He lined it up. He explained it very articulate, sorry. I threw an extra syllable in there. He was very articulate about that. This clown, who's going to be an attorney general, begins a campaign video with, "I will kill Donald Trump." And then he says, "I will get a conviction on Donald Trump. And then when I get that conviction on Donald Trump, I will execute Donald Trump." Okay, great. What charge did he levy and all that? Did he say what he's going to charge Donald Trump with? Did he say what crime Donald Trump should be charged with? No, he didn't. This guy just straight up said, "I'm going to kill Donald Trump. I'm going to throw him in front of a jury and I'm going to get him executed." That's communism. Wake up. That's their thought process. There's no evidence of anything. There's no charges he levied. There's no outlining of possible crimes Trump has done, according to his attorney general. I'm just going to kill him. I'm going to get him. I'm going to stack him in front of a jury, slanted in front of me, and then I'm going to kill him. That's communism right there. There's the rhetoric from the left. And then what's going to happen is all these little shock troops are going to hear that message and like, upload, kill Donald Trump. Oh yeah, sounds great. Meanwhile, none of it makes sense. There's no principle behind it, but once again, it doesn't matter because with communists, principles and logic cease to exist. It is feelings and emotion over facts and principles all the time. All the time. There was not a factual statement made by that attorney general as to how and why Donald Trump should be A, put in front of somebody for a trial, and then B, why he should be executed. There was not one thing articulated there whatsoever from him. But yet he is running for attorney general of Ohio, and I guarantee you he's going to get a lot of clicks with that video because he knows what he's doing. He is programming the non-thinking communist in Ohio. He's getting a good soundbite in front of them. He's poking them a little bit. He's doing what he needs to do to start promoting the chaos. That's all they do. That is all they do. When we say Polis is going to get, for treason, for sedition, for the election fraud that has been committed against the voters of the state of Colorado and the voters of the United States of America. That is a factual crime. That isn't a crime that can be charged. That can be a crime that can be held in court and be heard in front of a jury of his peers. That guy had none of that to say other than, "I'm going to kill Donald Trump and this is how I'm going to do it. And it doesn't matter if it's legal or not. I'm just going to go do it because he needs to get killed." That is the mentality of them. And you can't coexist with those people. You have to beat them back within a hole. You got to beat them down. You got to arrest them. You got to throw them in jail for all the criminal, illegal activities, specifically around sedition and insurrection and subverting the will of the people and assaulting federal officials. All of it needs to happen. All of it. Because if it doesn't, they're coming for us full force. I cannot stress this enough. They will come for conservatives full force. We started about it earlier on the show, right? Refused the COVID vaccine. What happened to you? Lost your job. Gone forever. Proud American that loves his country. Gone, fired forever. Right? What was the other one I said? There's a third one I said at the beginning of the show. I can't think right now. But if you don't comply, they'll throw you off social media if you question election integrity. That's another one, right? But that's what they will cancel you. They will stomp you out and they don't care. So you either are going to be on the back end of that or you have to meet force with force. And that's where we are in America. And it's all because of these rich billionaires, Soros, the Democrat Socialists of America, Neville Roy Singham, the New York Communist Steering Committee Party, right? All these intertwined NGOs, right, are definitely linked to fraud. So hopefully the Somali ring in Minneapolis is tied to them, and it just branches and keeps just keeps branching. And you cast that large net and you scoop them all up. And then you get the ones that get scooped up that know if they go to jail, it's not going to be a fun experience. So then they start singing and they start providing the real hard evidence. Oh, here's the bank receipt. Here's the electronic communications. This is how we did this. This is how we did that, right? And just build that RICO stack. All right, you guys want to go to trial? Or you just want to take death by execution, or you want to do 50 to life? Which one you want here? And that's what we need to do, because that's the only way to retake our facilities and our institutions and our country. That's the only way, is to get all of them out. And then you have brainwash. You have these you got these brainwashed communists who have good jobs, right? I consider a nurse a good job. You have to be educated, kinda. You got to know you got to know science. You got to know how to diagnose people. But nurses from Maine decided to show up at the House down in D.C. To protest at Senator Collins's office and demand that she vote no on ICE funding. Play cut 5.
My name's Kirsten. I'm a nurse at Maine Med, and I'm with Maine State Nurses Association. A big group of us showed up here today to see Senator Collins to implore that she vote no to further funding of ICE. We want them to stop terrorizing the streets of our communities. They have made an enormous impact in the hospitals. People aren't showing up. People aren't showing up to work. They're not showing up when they're sick. And we need this terrorism of ICE to stop now.
Stop ICE! Stop ICE! Stop ICE!
White liberals, white commies. Did you hear that though? No one's showing up to the hospitals because there's good. Keep the costs down. Let the Americans that are sick have first access. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. America first. Right? Like, yeah. And by the way, who are you? Why do you think it matters? Like, you're a nurse. You should not be doing this. It shouldn't matter. You should be in your hospital doing your work, taking care of who comes through that door. But nope, these people all believe they're political activists. Why? Because it goes back to the indoctrinations of the school systems in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. It goes all the way back. It's all tied together. What you see is what you get. It's because of what comes out of what has been produced at the school systems, right? Like, it's all tied together with these people. It is all tied together. And she's out there advocating to stop funding ICE. How about, hey, excuse me, nurse, quick question for you. I guess you haven't treated a rape victim by an illegal alien, have you? Or someone that's been hit by a drunk driving illegal alien, have you? How about the impacts of those families and those people? People that have lost their lives, families that have been devastated because people that should not have been in this country were here. I bet you feel differently if you were impacted that way. I bet you most of the non-thinking morons on the streets, the shock troops, if they were actually directly impacted by the immigration boomerang, they would feel differently. But unfortunately, it takes being directly impacted, not using logic, reasoning, or critical thinking skills, but it takes being directly impacted by the boomerang before people wake up. But unfortunately, I don't want to see 150 million more tragedies in this country. We've seen enough. We know what the consequences are. But yet, these communists still beat the same drum. And it's never going to change. It's never going to change until accountability rains down on them, rains down on the other side, and the other side is completely exposed for all that it has ever done. And I used to support the other side. I was an ignorant person. I'm still not that smart, right? I'm a little smart now, but I'm a little educated now, but I was not that smart, not that informed. kind of happy to go along, get along, do. Democrats good, Republicans bad, but that had to do because where I was from, and I didn't know the politics of anything. I didn't bother to dig in. Like, this is what I was told. Democrats are this, Republicans are this. Which side you on? Oh, I'm a Democrat because all my friends vote that way, and I'm not following anything when I'm 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Right? I'm chasing girls, playing baseball, going to class. Like, that's what I was doing. And I went to the City University of New York, Queens College, one of the most liberal, radical places in the country. I went to school there. Didn't think anything of it because that was just normal to me, right? Crazy. But that's where I went. And that's what I got a dose of. That's what I got a dose of. And speaking of dosing, Dr. Oz just put a video out. I don't know if anyone's caught this yet. I think it came out this morning. But Dr. Oz went through LA, and he's uncovering some fraud now too. This group, though, is not going to be Somalian-based. This is going to be a different group. B6, please.
So you can see these are medical buildings. They've got Cyrillic writing, Russian, Armenian writing. On both sides, there's lots of action, it seems. I don't know how many patients are getting care, but in this 4-block area in Los Angeles, there are 42 hospices. So either there are a lot of people dying here, or you've got a fraudulent activity that is so good that everyone wants to get in on it. I'm in Van Nuys in Los Angeles, and this boarded up area above my head here is a big hospice center. There are apparently quite a few hospices around here, 42 within a 4-block radius. And these guys stole $16 million. Listen carefully. The main guy went to jail for 2 years, for stealing $16 million, which is a good trade-off for a lot of folks. And if you look at it, it's pretty indescript. There wasn't anyone really in there. They weren't doing any services. They just got an address they could claim was a hospice, and then they ran the business, claiming people were at home getting services, which they really weren't. What we have learned is there's roughly $3.5 billion of fraud taking place here in Los Angeles in hospice and home care. It's run quite a bit of it by the Russian Armenian mafia. You notice the lettering and language behind me is of that dialect. And it also highlights the fact that this is an organized crime, mafia deal where you've got folks who have systemically recruited doctors to write false prescriptions, hundreds of doctors participating. They've got 100,000 patients who they've tricked or paid to give them their beneficiary numbers so they can perpetuate the fraud. And then the criminals are just running the whole organization and quickly scurrying away when law enforcement does get around to prosecuting them. Unfortunately, in California, there has not been a lot of attention on these problems. That's going to change. The U.S. Attorney, the FBI, everyone's now focused on the fact that in this state, which has about $30 billion worth of home and community-based services, most of it might be fraudulent. Those are big numbers, and we're taking it seriously. The president's not going to tolerate this anymore.
So here we go with that. Dr. Oz hitting the streets in LA, up blue city, up blue state, up $3.5 billion worth of fraud through the Russian Armenian mafia. I guarantee it's not going to be as easy going through those businesses and street as it is the Somali daycare. I'll put money on it. I guarantee their books I guarantee they probably have more organized books. They'll probably have a little more armed resistance, to be honest with you as well. So this may get interesting out in LA. But once again, another case of fraud. And what did he say? 42 hospice centers in 4 blocks? But no oversight. Why? Because the Democratic machine runs on fraud. Sorry. My algorithm's not completely set, everyone. Apologize. The communist machine runs completely on fraud. Right? There's kickbacks that I guarantee that will be able to be linked to the Democratic Party. Definitely representatives from California, Pelosi, Maxine. Right? Like that stuff I guarantee is probably going to happen, but another center of fraud. So after Minneapolis is cleaned up, is LA going to be the next one to get the zone flooded with ICE and deportation orders? And then is Newsom going to say, get out of my state, I will not support you, right? Because Newsom, you got to figure, is positioning himself to be the Democratic nominee, right? We haven't touched too much of that on this show. But what is going to be the face of the communists in the next presidential election cycle, Gavin Newsom's got to be on top of the list. He's Commie 101, right? So this will be an interesting showdown coming, California and Trump. That's going to happen. Watch. It will. Because accountability is ugly. And when fraud's uncovered and the American taxpayer dollar needs to get returned to the American people, let's do it, Trump. Go clean them up, ship them out. Let's get the party started. Right? And Trump is above water on immigration deportations. The majority of Americans support mass immigration deportations. Criminal, non-criminal, right? Americans support the deportation of all illegal immigrants at this point, right? Like, no, the optics have been bad. No, the media has spun it the way the media has spun it. But at the heart of it, the majority of Americans support illegal immigration to be removed from this country because we have seen enough. We've been told we have been racist enough. We have been told that our handouts are enough. Let's take care of Americans first. There's a thirst for that. There is a drive for that. Keep on doing it, President Trump. Got my support there. We need to get this balancing act right in our Congress as well and our electoral map. We got to make sure everything is tight because you only got one shot. You got one shot at this. Oof. Yeah. So how about that so far? How about that? Well, we're going to shift gears a little bit. So much for that 20-minute phone call, Joe. We're going to shift gears for a little bit, though. Let's talk about the gulag state of Colorado. It's a beautiful state, man. Like, I moved out here 10 years ago. I didn't know anything, to be honest with you. I just followed my now wife. Like, that's how I came out to Colorado. I don't know if I shared this story or not on the show, but I was living back in New York, and I was dating my now wife for about a year, and then she took a job in California to do travel physical therapy. She is mad smart. She is smarter than me. And now she's going to hear me say that because she listens. So, yeah, we were doing the long distance thing for a couple of months. I was living in New York. She was in Cali. And her rotation was ending. And I'm like, so you coming back? Like, what's the game plan here? What are we doing? And she's like, what about Colorado? I'm like, what about it? She goes, you want to live there? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything about Colorado, to be honest with you. This was in 2014, because we moved out here in 2015. So this is a conversation in 2014. And I didn't know anything about Colorado, I'll be honest. I knew weed was illegal, because that was the big thing 10 years ago all over the place. Legal weed, legal weed, legal weed. So she's like, I'm thinking about going to Colorado. You want to come with me? And I'm like, you crazy? Like, I was from Queens, New York, lived on Long Island, right? 20-minute drive from where my mom was to where I was living. All my friends were there, right? I didn't know. I never envisioned myself leaving. Never envisioned myself moving outside of the Long Island, Queens area. Like, never did. But I knew I wanted to pursue my wife still. Well, my girlfriend at the time. Girlfriend, wow, ages ago. I wound up getting, at the same time, I wound up getting passed over for a dean position at my high school I was working at as a social studies teacher, so I needed to start over somewhere, and the timing lined up right. So I just quit my job and moved out to Colorado with her. We landed out, we drove across country and pulled in January 1st, 2015. And we lived down in the Springs for about 7 months. That was an interesting experience. But yeah, I didn't know anything about Colorado. I know how to snowboard now. I've learned a couple things. I've learned the terrain of the state and all that. And it's a beautiful state, but the communists are ruining it. And that's the truth of it. And if you take a look at this, and this is the proof of it, let's put up C1, Damon. Colorado is now ranked in the top 7 states that people are fleeing. Colorado communists, they got to change this. We got to make this a movement on social media that we don't call Democrats anymore. They are communists. Colorado communists are totally destroying Colorado. And Colorado is in the top 7 of states that people are leaving. And if you go into it, the top 7: New Jersey, New York, California, North Dakota, Colorado, Mississippi, Massachusetts. 5 out of 7 hard liberal states. People are leaving. Now, why? Why would the majority of states that people are fleeing be tied to having communist principles if communism works so well? Well, you got 2 ways to look at this. You could say, oh, all the Republicans are leaving. Possibly. But I think that happened already. I think that has happened. Like, if you were leaving a state because of political reasons, I believe the majority of people have retreated to those areas that had the ability to have done. Me, I don't have the ability to yet. But when I do, we shall see. So when these communists are leaving the states that they have hijacked. Why? If the principles that they instill are so great and are so beneficial to the people, which communism is supposed to represent the people, why are the majority of the people leaving these states? Because communism does not work in America. Communism doesn't work, period. But communism and free market don't work together. Communism in America does not work. And you see what you get. You get higher rents, higher mortgages, higher energy costs, less safer streets, more violence in your streets, actually. It's not safer. There's violence out there. I misspoke. Right? People see the consequences of these policies and like, I'm out. Right? And who is this wave of communists, right? It's the young generation. It's the shock troops. They're the ones that aren't leaving. They're the ones that are still in mommy and daddy's basement, right? There's a whole bunch of them out here in Colorado. Whole bunch of them. Staying in dark rooms in the basement, lotion and tissues, and their phone. And then they get their signal chat. Activate ICE in neighborhood. Okay. Right? Like, this young generation is going to be here, and they don't have the job or the economic fortitude to actually play a part in the system. But the system that they are supporting needs this massive amount of money to run on all these government programs and these free handouts that these communists keep talking about. So what you got to do is you got to keep taxing the producers of the society, and the people that are producing in your state are tired of being bent over, so they leave, which ultimately means communism will collapse every state. So let them collapse every state before they collapse the federal government. Stop supporting them. Stop giving sanctuary cities and states federal funding. And by the way, who gives a shit if it's unconstitutional or not? The communists do unconstitutional shit all the time, and they still double down on it. And then eventually, when it gets brought to the Supreme Court and then it gets overturned, then they'll pull off the gas. But it doesn't matter because they ruined lives for 3 to 5 years. So why don't we just play by their rules? You know? Screw it. They started. They know what the hell they're doing. Like what they're doing in Virginia with the ramming through of the gerrymandering of their redistricting. They know it's unconstitutional, but they're ramming it through anyway. Why? Because they know they'll get 2 to 3 years of it lawfully being on the books, even though it's unconstitutional, because it won't be rescinded until the Supreme Court strikes it down. So they'll get what they want for a couple of years before it has to get pulled back. Communists. And you tell me it's not all about power. That party said it's not all about power. It's all about power. It's all about beating you into submission. It's all about stomping you out. That's all it is. That is all they're about. So people that can actually flee these communist states can and do, which is fine. Let Colorado lose an electoral vote. I'm down with that. Colorado hasn't voted red in how long? Let California lose a 1 or 2. Let New York lose 1 or 2. Let New Jersey lose 1 or 2. That's fine. When have any of these states voted red in the previous presidential elections, right? So, like, I'm down with that. Let them lose some seats in the House, too. So down with that. We need to get some breathing room on our side, but we also need to make sure these election systems are handled and fixed once and for all. Because if we are to get all this lined up and everything looks great on paper, but the election system itself is not addressed, it means nothing. It's all or nothing. It's not part and pieces, right? If you get parts and pieces, you get nothing. You will lose in the end. It has to be the whole pie. It has to be everything. One shot, one time, one movement, one kill, all of it. You can't do it half-ass. You can't wait till the next term. You can't wait till the next wave of elections. It needs to be done. And then let's take a look. We're staying on Colorado, by the way. Sorry, just went down a rabbit hole for a minute. Coming back. We have a police officer with the Erie Police Department in Colorado. Her name is Haley Hazel Shimko. She allegedly made a post online advocating for the murder of ICE agents, saying they wear armor so headshots would work better. The Erie police told us they have now opened an internal investigation. Anyone promoting the murder of federal agents should not be in charge of enforcing our laws. That is a police officer on the Erie Police Department in Colorado. Infiltrated on all levels. The mind virus is real. The mind virus needs to be rooted out. And I would advocate for re-education camps, but I know we can't do that here in America. But we need to figure out a way to re-educate our populace because it is just off the chain. You have a police officer think it's appropriate to say how to shoot somebody in the head. Like, think about that. Now, I wonder if an equity department head, Mr. Garcia E. Ortiz, do you believe that person should be fired for their job? Or not because they believe what you believe, sir? Tough question. Tough question. It's not, but for you it is. Because you have no principles. Piece of trash. All right. So last night, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment admitted that they are not following the federal vaccinated mandated schedule released by Secretary Kennedy. So TDS is a real thing. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Anything that comes out of that side of anything that comes out of that White House, they deny. That dude could crap gold and they'll still not believe it, right? Like anything. This dude could push anything and they will just, nope, not good, nope, not doing it. So the Colorado Department of Public Health is saying we are not changing our vaccination schedule, even though the head administration here, our HHS, has changed the vaccination schedule for children. Let's listen to this. Let's play it.
Is CDPHE in alignment with the new federal vaccine standards? And if not, are you getting in alignment because they give you about $324 million a year?
Director Ryan.
Thank you, Senator Mullica. Thank you, Representative Bradley, for the question. So CDPHE follows the science. We do not agree with the current vaccination schedule, and we are using the old vaccination schedule that is recommended by several national organizations, by American Academy of Family Physicians. Yep. American Academy of Pediatrics, and there was legislation passed that allows our Board of Health that creates our vaccination schedule to point to some of these national groups so that we can have a schedule that's different than the federal government.
Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when $324 million gets stripped, you have a plan for that?
Director Ryan.
Yeah.
Director Herrera.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Representative Bradley. So what we have heard from CDC and our federal counterparts is money is stable in relation to the vaccination money that we get. When you say $324 million, I am assuming you're maybe talking about our Vaccines for Children funding, which is not quite that large. But As of now, our funding is level, and we've not heard anything different. I will say for many, many years, AAP and ACIP were in lockstep on their vaccine recommendations, and we didn't see that the evidence changed, so we stuck with the AAP schedule and continued to follow the data.
Yeah, so childhood vaccination schedule is out. It basically recommends 17 vaccines down to 11, and out here in Colorado, they're saying no. We want to keep with the 17 because the science says. Well, they don't also address that actually the decision made by the Trump administration was based on science that came out of Denmark, and following what that country has done to implement for childhood vaccines here. So it's just political games being played with public health. And why? Because those jerk-offs sitting at the table don't give a shit about the American people. It's political ideology over everything else. They don't care that the funding could be pulled or may be pulled. They actually didn't even have an answer. And if you actually listen to them, they don't even sound too convinced that they're doing the right thing. But they're doing what they are being told to do because it's in defiance of what Trump and what his administration is trying to do. Right? That's all it is. That's all it is. Those non-thinking communists up there are just as dumb as the ones on the street. They are the yes men to the ones above. That's all they are. They have no principles. They have no guiding light. They have no firm beliefs in anything. They blow whichever way the wind blows. They go whichever way the dollar goes. They have no interest of the public health whatsoever. They're talking about it's based on science. Okay, well, how come they didn't discuss the science that was used to determine the change in the childhood vaccine? It wasn't that HHS and Secretary Kennedy did this out of nowhere. Secretary Kennedy this is a very dear issue to this man. Okay? It is very important to him, right? If you actually followed the work he did, right? I believe it was in California, right? Vaccines are very important to him. Vaccine safety is important to him. And he was a big proponent of keeping our kids safe. And there's plenty of evidence out there, autism links to vaccine use, right? Like, it is out there now. The numbers are out there. But yet you have these communist gulags out here in Colorado. Nope. Science dictates 17 shots must do to the kids. Science dictates. Ask them how many of their kids are on the full vaccine schedule. Watch them clam up real quick and say, no, you're a public official. You're spouting this shit that I should inject that into my kid, and you're the spokesman for that. What are you putting into your kid? Put your money where your mouth is. What are you putting into your kid's arm? And I wonder how many of them had they, them pronouns on their letterhead. I guarantee all of them. But follow the science. Okay. Clown world. Bizarro world. Oy. And it goes back to the education system, man. We just produce non-thinking idiots that will sell out their soul for a bag of shekels. Sell out their soul in the American people just to be the grift of the society, to make their money, right? And buy their house in a nice neighborhood, even though they believe in equity and that everyone is systemically oppressed. I always found that funny. Those that preach equity, the ones that talk about the systemic oppression, the ones that get paid the 6-7 figures, the superintendents, the head of equity departments throughout districts, throughout this country, throughout equity departments in medical offices, right? All those that talk about the ones that we oppress, that are oppressed in this country. You ever notice that they actually never move to those neighborhoods that they talk about to help those people? They always move to the nice neighborhoods, typically surrounded by white people, white liberal people typically. They choose to live there. Why is that? If it's systemically oppressive, why are you choosing to live with the people that you rail against? That's right, because you have no principles, because you are a coward. That is correct. And speaking of cowards, we're going to hit the Colorado Education Association, because those are a bunch of communists. Let me tell you, man, I am embarrassed I did work with those people, but I'm glad I did work with them because it opened my eyes, right? It gave me the experience. It gave me the knowledge. It introduced me to what the purpose of unions are and how they operate. And they are an extension of the Communist Party. And they are in complete control of our school systems. If you do not believe your public school teachers' local union does not control your school board, you are misinformed. You are misinformed. The teachers' unions directly control the school boards because they select the school board members to run for office. That's why. So let's put this up. This is coming out of the Colorado Educators Association. We'll read this post first. There are 0 reports of ICE entering Colorado schools, but this is how the Colorado Teachers Union spent their evening. What does this have to do with improvement in education outcomes, developing master teachers, or getting more funding? I think they need to take out Education Association from their name and replace it with something that more accurately describes their mission. Communist indoctrination, right? And then if you open that document up and read through it a little bit, dear Daniel, thank you to everyone who stood in solidarity with our colleagues and allies in Minnesota, right? Do you hear how they even open up with that language? Our comrades. I'm sorry, our colleagues and allies. It should be comrades, because that's what they truly mean. Freudian slip on my part. But that's what they truly mean, is they're comrades and allies in Minnesota. Were they improving test scores in Minnesota? Were they improving literacy rates among their youth? No, they were activists. Your actions matter, and they are needed now more than ever. Students have been assaulted by federal agents, detained and separated from their families, causing deep and lasting trauma. Educators have been detained without explanation or due process, and people exercising their First Amendment rights to peacefully speak out have been met with violence. These actions threaten the safety of our students, our schools, and our democracy. Join NEA and move on for a Know Your Rights training this evening at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. During this session, Move On will cover how to document and record ICE and interactions with law enforcement, and share the latest updates on ICE and CBP's out-of-control, dangerous operations. No King's Mass Call, eyes on ICE. Document and record. Get the tools you need to exercise your rights as federal agents terrorize our communities. Our union is built on solidarity. When one community is under attack, we all are. Let's continue to stand together for our students, our colleagues, and the future of public education. In solidarity, Kevin Vick, high school social studies teacher, president of the Colorado Education Association. I met this guy 10 years ago when I was doing work down in the union. The guy's a tool. He is a yes man. He is a tool. He probably doesn't know who I am, but I know who he is. Okay? And when you close out with that, our union is built on solidarity. When one community is under attack, we all are. Well, sir, America has been under attack by foreign invaders. Where were you to stand with us then? Nowhere. Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to stand. Nowhere. Right? Where were you? You were supporting working against this president. You're supporting in the propagandizing of the American student. You, sir, are a threat to the American people. You are a communist. Every last one of you, across the board, communist to the core. And just listen to that language. By the way, not one ICE agent, not one ICE interaction has taken place in a Colorado public school. So stop stoking the fear, stop spreading the lies, because that's all the communists do. You got to call them out at every turn. And that's what I'm doing right now. You hopping on?
Yeah. I'm in the middle of my podcast. I just wanted to check with you before I walked in here. Let me, can I call you back? Just check on that and call me back, or send me a text. Thanks, brother.
So yeah, they resist at all ends.
Yeah. So sorry I'm late. I was just verifying some stuff. I got another phone call after I put that post out on Facebook about Victor Marks basically walking around the state telling people not to put me on the debate stage. So pretty sad. To be a man of God, Victor, to be a man of God, you can't be unethical. This is a primary. And you got the radical left, you got Kyle Clark, and all these guys talking about me, and then he's out basically trying to bully people and pick up these endorsements. And frankly, I think you're a paper tiger. I didn't say a bad word about anyone. Now I'm coming for you.
Do you want us to put the post up? We have your Victor Marks post. You want to go over it?
No. Yeah, we probably should, so people can understand what I'm saying. So what were you talking about beforehand? By the way, it's Chris's birthday. Did you say happy birthday to Chris?
Oh, no, I saw it in the chat. They want us to sing happy birthday. You are right. I did see that. They want us to sing happy birthday. They want it on the archives.
Yeah.
You want to do it now?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Got you, Chris.
I did see that in the chat, yep. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, no, we were talking about the communists in Colorado, how it's a gulag state, but we could easily go to Victor if you want. We could easily put
look,
up.
I'm a night. Oh man.
A4 Damon, when you have a chance, we're going there.
I do not attack people that are running for office that are on the same side as I am.
A3, sorry.
I don't do that.
Yep. You haven't. I saw you at the dinner that Thursday night. You were great. Didn't take any shots at anybody. Open form, respectful.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that it's disingenuous. And so when I got this phone call, which is why, I had this court thing I had to go to. I think that everyone is sending me text messages right now. They're sending me text messages because the dominoes are falling. The dominoes of the 2020 election are falling. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's happening right now. People are going to prison.
That's great.
They're going to prison. And I'm going to be vindicated. And then I'm just putting you on notice, Kyle Clark. I'm going to sue you into non-existence. 9 News, I'm coming for you. I already took the Matt Doloff deal and I sent it to the DOJ saying, this guy murdered someone and the state of Colorado and the city and county of Denver are letting him get away with it. You need to charge this man with murder. I did that.
I believe it.
He was an Antifa guy.
Believe it.
Who shot and killed a patriot, a hat maker.
Hush, hush.
Lee Keltner.
Under the rug.
So, yeah. So let me just put some context behind this really quick. I know I just switched gears on you and I'm talking about Victor Marks.
You're good.
I can't believe I'm having to spend any time on you. I live rent-free in Victor Marks's head. Like I must live completely rent-free. He must wake up in the morning and be like, Lord Joe Oltmann, Lord Joe Oltmann. I must be like,
You give him credit would start with Lord when he wakes up?
Well, not Lord, not me being Lord, but he's like trying to pray. Because I pray that he takes it to prayer. And I said it in the comment. And then I had Christians that started attacking me and saying, I hate you. I used to like you. And now you're going against Victor Marks. And I'm thinking to myself, what is wrong with you people? Like, what's wrong with you? I'm going to show you guys something. And it's, by the way, what he's doing is unethical and illegal. And there's a thing that you have to do when you run for office. You're not allowed to fake it until you make it. Okay? You're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
So, Victor, I'm telling you right now, you're caught. You don't have 1.9 million people that follow you on Facebook. You don't have 7,000 people in a couple minutes that actually like your posts. And I'm going to reach out to Facebook. If you want to play dirty and come after me dirty, I'm going to play accountability game with you. And that is, you're paying a company. There's only 2 places you could be paying that company, one out of Colorado Springs or one out of a Midwest state that does social media. And what they do is they create these bot accounts. It is closely related to Demcast. And they go in and they basically pump the account with 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 different likes and things like that.
Okay.
So the reason why this is illegal when you're doing campaigns and cases, because you're making yourself seem more popular than you really are.
Right. Sway public opinion.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so I went through and I ran a check against his account because I was seeing these irregularities. And lo and behold, It popped up. So go ahead and put this up if you would, please. So the way that he actually hides it, it says, you see the total number of people who reacted to this post, but only the names of friends who have reacted will be shown. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with a lot of people. I have over 6,500 people that follow me. I got right back on Facebook, and I had 4 friends in Colorado that liked this post. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I got attacked by people who were not from Colorado. And they would attack. They sent me messages. They did the same thing. And I'm going to tell you something. When you do these things, you make it seem like you're an op. I don't attack people's families. I don't attack people's wives. I don't do any of that. I woke up this morning to a post by Victor Marx.
Oh, okay.
And that post by Victor Marx accused me, because I got a phone call. First thing I got the phone call was like, hey, did you see this by Victor Marx? And let me see if I can find it. People are going to get really mad at me for saying this. Like, oh, Joe. One second. Oh, that's the one of me and my wife. And then, he put up a post of himself, so I put up a post of me and my wife, and I was like, just being funny. Because I thought it was funny. Hold on, almost there. Is this it? No, it's not it. Oh, here's... Sorry, I'm just trying to get to the comment that was important in this. Man, I got attacked like crazy by these little nutballs.
Good thing you got tough skin. Been doing it for a while. Get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't, I came out pretty harsh at him because I felt like I had to. Because I couldn't understand why he was making the comments that he was making. It didn't make sense to me.
Want to see these comments?
Oh, I'm trying to find it. It looks like he took it down. So, okay, let me go over here and find it again. I feel like I'm totally ram-airing. Maybe he blocked me. That's a possibility. Well, I'll be damned. That's a real thing that he did? People. No. You wouldn't actually do that. Would you?
Is this it?
Yeah. What's the name of his
it's
page
on its whole page. Just click on his name in your post, and this came up.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, let's see if it lets me.
That's what I got.
Oh, is he going to get petty on me? He's getting petty on me. He's getting petty. How do you get into somebody's? How do you get underneath somebody's nerves or underneath somebody's skin that bad over a post?
You hit him with truth. Say the stuff that they can't defend. Truth, man.
He blocked me. He blocked me. Victor Marx blocked me. You gotta be kidding me. Who does that?
He does.
Who does that? Whoa. Guys, listen to me. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me read it.
There you go.
Did you send it to?
Yeah, I sent it to Damon. If you can get that up.
Damon, I got blocked. I got blocked. Victor Marks blocked me. He's got 1.9 million followers, right? Uh-huh.
If you scroll to the post.
What's that?
I'm talking to, it should have taken you right to the post, Damon.
Go to the post. Yeah. I'm just trying to get to it. Right here. Here it is. Got it. All right. Keep going. No, go to the post. At the very top. You see that one at the very top? No, go back to it. Go back to it. Go back to it. I can't believe I'm having to spend time on this. This is how crazy. This is how petty people are. Tell me the first one right there. See where the guy's sitting down? No, that's not it. The him sitting down.
Yes.
All right. Let me read this to you guys. Now, right after this post went up, is 8 hours ago, I'm on an airplane. Now, anybody that knows me, anybody, you can ask anybody you want. There is never a time that I would attack somebody's family. I wouldn't indirectly attack somebody's family. I would never do anything to ever talk about somebody's life decisions even, right? Now, when you come for me, it becomes a problem.
Game changes.
I'm gonna come for you, right?
Game changes.
He says there are candidates in this race who support, endorse, and even have working for them an unstable person, in my opinion, who is trying to publicly humiliate my daughter, a young woman who was victimized right here in Colorado Springs. We have the documentation. My daughter is now in the final stage, alongside other victims, in the prosecution of this predator. Because she has the courage to come forward publicly, other young women did too. After a thorough investigation, this longtime sexual offender is finally facing years in prison. So when someone says you should debate or share a stage with these people, understand when you are actually asking. You're asking a father to stand next to those connected to the public targeting of his child. That's not politics, that's a moral line. If someone can't understand why a father would draw that boundary, then we are simply not aligned. And that's fine. I'm not avoiding debates, I'm avoiding distractions. I would gladly debate anyone who earns a place on the ballot and proves they are a viable candidate in this primary. Until then, my focus is on my family and the voters, not on giving free attention to people who haven't earned it. This is Victor Marks, the dad, speaking. Okay. Now, go ahead and pull up my post on Facebook so you can understand. Actually, let me see that real quick, see if it has the response, because he probably erased it, if I had to guess. Did he erase it? Make sure he erased it. Okay, so let me explain something to you guys for a minute. This should be really good. When you declare a war on me, I am likely not to respond well. When you do so with baseless lies, then I will respond accordingly. I'm not sure that I'm not going to get litigious over this. I might. And so, Victor, you do have an opportunity to retract this. And I'm in a very litigious mood at this point. And I'll tell you why after I'm done with this. But at no point would I ever go after anyone at any time, nor have I ever gone after anyone at any time or their families at any time. I'm not built that way. So let me explain to you what I wrote. Do you have it, or do you want me to get it?
We got A3, Damon.
Why am I sharing this with you? Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because in 5 years, I've been called an insurrectionist. I've been called a conspiracy theorist. I've been called every name in the book. And I'm not talking by, and let me go back in time to 2022 for a minute. Now, I never told you guys that I would do this, but I'm going to go back to 2022. I'm a forgiving guy. 2022, O'Day was running for office. Heidi Ganahl was running for governor. O'Day was running for Senate. Bill Owens has this, he was the governor way back when. And he's got this political group, and he's got a young man. No, he's not young, actually. I take that back. I retract that statement. Sean Toner, that had worked for him for a long time. And Bill Owens got together with a couple of other people in Colorado, and they said, we need to slow down this Joe Oltmann guy. He's gaining too much. And we tried. We tried really hard to get him to go to a event that frankly was not a good event.
Okay.
It was the Bohemian Grove. I was asked twice. I said I would not go.
Okay.
So why the fear? Why is there an immense amount of fear of me going back 2022? And I had a candidate for governor on my podcast. And that night, that candidate went and was speaking at an event up north. And all the candidates refused to show up to support her because she was on my podcast. That happened in Colorado. Now, I was fairly close to Lauren Boebert, meaning that I supported her, I donated to her, I did things to help her. I was an advocate for her, I would set up events for her, I did everything I could to support her. And I don't know where all that went wrong, but the same group of people that do this, that have this power in Colorado, that basically get to decide who represents the people of Colorado, swallowed her up too. And now she's on Victor Marks' side. And now the guy that ran Bill Owens, this Sean Toner, is now working for Victor Marks. So they play dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So you have dirty people creating all of this dirt of how can they do whatever they can to hurt Joe Oltmann. And I want to say something before I read this post, Patrick. If those motherfuckers couldn't break me in 5 years, I promise you they're no closer to ever breaking me now. You're not going to break me. You're not going to break me. Look, I'm going to tell you what I am. I'm a unicorn. I'm a unicorn. I'm like one of one. President Trump is a unicorn. A unicorn knows what a unicorn looks like. And see, bad people don't like unicorns. And shit people who are weak don't like unicorns. You want to know why? Because we have a thing that we do. We operate by this standard. And it's a standard, by the way, that go ahead and find another person that will care about people the way I care about people. Go ahead. Anybody that knows me. Anybody. Yeah, I got a piece of shit that used to work for me, that came on the comments. He worked for me for less than a year and was fired. He's like, if you want to know about one of your candidates, just call me. I thought to myself, all right, check mark. I'm going to go ahead and take a box around that. I don't even know who this punk is. I actually knew it because he was such a bad employee that I fired him. So I'm like, okay. In 2016.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when you have shit people that like to get together, right?
They attract each other.
They attract each other.
Mm-hmm.
And in politics, it's much worse.
Shit.
And yes, I'm really upset over this, but I apologize for cussing. I won't do it again. Jeff, don't yell at me. I'm begging for forgiveness. I won't do it again. We will block it out. I won't do it again. Okay? So here's what I wrote to Victor Marks. When you manufacture a crisis, I have a problem with it. Victor Marks is not a bad man, but the reality is he's making up stuff that is just not true. Victor Marks, you need to get right with the Lord. I'm on a plane flying back from a deposition. It's taken me 5 years to get justice for the stolen elections, fighting uphill to eliminate the fraudulent fixed elections in Colorado and around the nation that have given us this deviant legislation and demonic leadership in Colorado. It has cost me tens of millions, my reputation, the safety of my wife and children. My family has endured threats of rape, murder, maiming. They sent powder through the mail, terrorized my company employees, sued me, and tore down all that I spent decades building for others right here in Colorado. This has been my home for almost 30 years. This was my response to your post, aimed at me incorrectly and purposefully to malign who I am as some sort of coward. Brother, I am no coward. And at no point, if I had something to say, would I not bring it to you privately, face to face, or like I'm doing now, publicly to set the record straight. This amounts to party tricks and manipulation. I do not dislike you. I just don't trust you. I have personally heard from people at every single event that your campaign has pressured nearly every environment, county, and group to exclude me from debates and even speaking. You did it in Mesa, you did it in Longmont, you did it in Kiowa, then classically canceled. You did it in Weld. These are not tactics aligned with Jesus. They align with the same issue of left and right wizards behind the curtain picking leadership that will cater to the haves and leave the people again disappointed. Now, as for the people who volunteer on my campaign, bringing things into the light, I have not seen anything. I have not read much of what people had to say, and I've spent zero time disparaging you or any other candidate. Whether it was you, me, Bottoms, Kirkmeyer, or Griffin, I will support whoever the people choose, but they must choose. I will continue to speak kindly about you and other candidates. Truth in you eroded for me when the lack of integrity related to Tina. It did not evolve, and your words matter. She deserved a complete and unequivocal pardon, not a commutation. Stand in conviction and stand in truth at all times. I forgive you for your indictment of my character. It's not the first time and it won't be the last. Yet this race to the finish line should be one of ideas and acknowledgement of what the people of Colorado need. We are in a very bad place as a state. This is not about capturing the governorship. It's about restoration of the sovereignty of the people of Colorado. They deserve to have all the seats at the table.
Well written. Well said.
I put that up there while I was flying, and I just picked a picture of me and my wife when I did it. And, I don't care who the governor is. I'm tired of the people being disappointed. I'm tired of the school-to-prison pipeline, the education system being eroded, DEI, which is what ultimately you lost your career to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of high taxes and tollways and entitlements for people who are not Americans. Well, they step over the bodies of veterans and even just people that are American, multi-generational Americans, saying, we want to give them a better life while we're actually destroying the lives of those people that are here and have been here, that are the bedrock of this country. When they genocide the black community and the brown community and say it's a right, and then tell us that somewhere along the line they should carry a flag other than the American flag into the classroom and indoctrinate and groom our children to think that they're born the wrong sex. None of what we're dealing with as a society is right. None of it.
Agreed. You get a chance to listen at all? We're the 7th most fled state in the country right now.
I'm not going to flee. I'm going to fight like hell. I'm going to fight like I just got off the phone with someone and I said, I can win this. And I haven't even started really my campaign. I haven't started my campaign and they're already trying to take people off of my volunteer list. I mean, people that frankly I would pay to do the work. Just taking them off. As if they can make the choice. And I don't know if you're paying attention to it, but a lot of people are about to get arrested. You see what's blowing up on X right now as we speak?
Kind of been busy.
It's really, it's a lot.
All I've seen was the Fulton County that we had on the show. So I've not gone deep yet.
Yeah, it's, let me see if I can get to this one.
They seized election ballots from Georgia in 2020 just now. They're going after the ballots.
Yep. How about that? Remember, they called me an election denier. They called me a guy that...
Over a dozen U.S. senators illegally stole their seats through fraud. Senator Tuberville, we probably have a dozen or so people up here in the House and the Senate that were elected illegally. They shouldn't be here because things were crooked in the elections. That's on the 4 hours ago. Benny Johnson, but 4 hours ago. Suburb Tuberville. Senator Tuberville.
That was Benny Johnson?
Yeah.
So I'm just going to tell you that that's 4 hours ago. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what else do we got?
We were pretty much wrapping up, man. We do have the banana and rice video if you're interested in that.
You did the Rocky Mountain voice?
Yes, sir.
All right. What do you guys think? I mean, what are other people thinking that are watching this?
Let us know in the comments.
I mean, just so you know, I've been blocked on every social media. I've been canceled on every platform. Emerald Robinson's talking about who? Eric Coomer. Benny Johnson talking about who? Eric Coomer. DC Drano talking about who? Eric Coomer. What's everybody talking about? Eric Coomer. Guess who's got to fly back into the country for another deposition? Eric Coomer. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, arrests will be made. People are going to prison. Don't worry about it. Trump's not going to win. I made sure of it. And how did I find him? Because he just couldn't help himself. He had to get on an Antifa call and he had to talk about it. And then I had to just dig in. Because even up until that point, nobody knew. And I built a model and sent it to Washington. And they're like, hey, we want you to come here. And I came there and I was like, here it is. The first model ever built on how they stole the elections. It's just, I can't tell you about the deposition. I want to tell you. Eric Coomer was deposed and he basically, I can't tell you. I'm just going to tell you that it's a gift that keeps on giving. And I think that his lawyers, I actually think that Coomer's lawyers, I think they finally got it. I think they finally figured it out.
You think so?
When I sat and watched his attorney yesterday, and I said, they know. They know, and there's no way to run away from it.
They can't get out of it now.
Absolutely not.
And they know, and the lawyers now know.
They know.
That's a tough spot. That's a tough spot.
Because now you know that there's a fraud on the court. Now you know that they've been fighting this uphill battle. Now you know that they've shot their wad in too many different areas. They know. And now they're in the middle of, are they going to be subjected to the same criminal prosecution as a result? And the more that they actually take this down the line, I mean, I just had that meeting last week, and I was like, what are my options in suing this judge? What are my options in impeaching that judge? What are my options in suing the state of Colorado? What are my options? I'm going after all of them. There's not one rock I will not overturn. I'm going for the jugular on all of them.
That's what needs to be done. Justice. No turn the other cheek. Justice. Because they would stomp on you. That's just what it is. That's the game they play.
Well, they did.
That's the game they play. And now you have justice on your side. it is good to wield that justice now.
I need you to win your case.
I need to get into a court, man.
I think it's going to come though. I think the tide is turning. I think there's some big things happening. I don't need you to win your case so you can go back to that environment. I need you to win your case so that you can have peace.
I agree.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I do. I would love that. I would love just to be able to share everything. I can't share everything that has happened yet. I want everyone to hear how equity works in the school system, how DEI works in the school system, and how they don't care. They will stomp on anyone's constitutional right to get what they want. And it goes on in all public schools throughout the country. It's sad, but there are receipts to all this.
And I think this is what we have to do in the state of Colorado. That's why I think that Victor Marks, based on what he's doing to me, is that he can't hold a candle to policy or the tactical needs of how we take care of the things that are really hurting people in Colorado, right? And I think he's an intelligence op. I think he's a guy that was propped up. I think he was literally propped up for this job.
And just to get him through the primary to the race, or just to get him into the primaries?
Well, we're going to get rid of machines and mail-in ballots.
Mm-hmm.
Those are gone. I'm telling you right now, over the next couple of weeks, they're gone. Gone. Gonzo. Gone. And if the governor of Colorado and the Secretary of State and the AG fight it, all three of them are going to go to prison, if not face execution for treason. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Gavin Newsom is on the table. I think that the governor of Oregon is on the table. I think that the powers to be at all three levels inside of Michigan are on the table. I would not be surprised if they either play ball and capitulate and get the hell out, or every single one of these cases, I promise you, and it's not going to be in front of a judge. It's going to be in front of a military tribunal. And he's already figured it out. And all the evidence is in. I don't care who you are, you were a part of a cabal. And I think the Space Force was the first thing that was able to uncover all of this stuff happening. That's what I think.
Right out here from Colorado, it was, what was it? Buckley. Buckley was Space Force. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're bringing the SAVE Act tonight, it looks like, maybe? The SAVE Act, it seems like that might be happening too. The House is currently adding to the SAVE Act to not just include citizenship to vote, but photo ID to vote. And this may be brought tonight.
How about the no mail-in ballots?
I don't see that yet on here. Do not see
the
that
problem
yet.
is that you have no chain of custody. They can make ballots out of thin air. If you do not go to, Mr. President, listen to me. If you do not go to hand count in person with a paper ballot, you have lost. You've lost. No machines, no mail-in ballots. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Do not allow them to railroad you into this is enough. You lost because they had the ability to add votes anywhere they want, and they stole down ballot in every state. The state of Colorado was the worst. The state of Colorado was the worst. It was the one that bucked the entire national trend. And we are not a blue state. We are not a blue state. All right, you ready to go? Pray it out? I'll pray it out.
You pray us out, brother.
All right, you guys ready? Listen, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, tune in to more. It is going to get fire. Over the next couple of weeks, it's going to get even more fire because I'm going to start talking about policies. What are we going to do in Colorado? I'm going to start talking about the things that should matter to not just the state of Colorado, but what does that framework look like? How do we restore every state? Let's say we were not talking about Colorado. We're talking about California. We're talking about any of the states that don't respect the rights of the individual, that have vaccine mandates for children, that force them to give their children things that should never be in their body, that put a chain on Big Pharma, that stop special entitlements and special interest groups from going in and creating all these bills, that hands you back your Second Amendment rights, that stops them from getting psychotropic drugs to children to control them inside the school system, that eliminates the flag, that gets to a place where the kids in the poorest communities don't sit here with these droughts, forces big companies when they come into Colorado or any state to support the schools that have the most need, right? And for God's sakes, let's stop putting big air conditioners and marble floors in government buildings. Those buildings were never meant to be Taj Mahals. The Taj Mahal should be where the children learn. They should want to be there. It should be, man, they're poor and they're over here. You want to show them what life is all about, what they could aspire to. Make their educational experience magnificent and see what happens. They won't want to be away from it. They'll be running away from all the drugs. They'll be running away from guns and gangs. They don't want it. I've never seen a gang member that's not like, you know, if I could be a doctor, I would. All right. Now you're my hero, Mark. Thank you. Susan, God bless you. All right. Hey, great show again today, Patrick.
Oh, thank you. The bar is high around here, everyone. The bar is high.
Yeah, I might run for president next. I got to get through governor first. I think somebody said that. Run for president. I could run for president.
I'll help.
Yeah.
Got me.
All right, let's pray. Father God, thank you. But God, but the things that you're able to make happen, if you just have a mustard seed of faith. And it was never promised that everything would work out. And if I'm being honest, I didn't think it would. But I knew it would work out the way you wanted it to work out. Father, we are grateful for the path. We'll be grateful to be born at a time such as this. We're grateful for your ability to just hold us in this place of peace. Father, I'm grateful for Patrick. I'm grateful for his mind and for the opportunity we had to bring him on as a part of our team. I'm grateful for Damon. I know it's like a hot seat in there for him. He's just got it figured out. I'm grateful for the people that have decided to run for office. I'm grateful for my brothers and sisters. I'm grateful for my family. Man, I could sit here and just tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the fact that you've spared me in all of this to such a way where I didn't go to a place of despair. You just knew just enough. I am grateful, Father. We are grateful. Father, I just ask that you give us the ability to have vision for how we can play a part, how we can step into this place where we can act and do your will, to have courage and to have commitment, set aside petty differences, collectively come together, mend fences. I ask you, Father, to just be on the heart of Darcy, who is a fierce warrior. She's working on my campaign. She's very strong. And she has been slandered up one side, down the other in Colorado. And she's a sharp stick. And I just ask that you give her peace, so that as she goes through and hones her skills, that she may find success in serving you. I ask you, Father, to bless those that are sick, including Dave Bear. Help us, Father, that we may kind of get to the end of this, whatever's happening, that we can, that he can be spared and healed. We are grateful, Father. We're grateful to be in such an amazing country, but we know that what happens here is also going to affect the rest of the world. So we just ask you to put your hand on your people all over the world, that we can eliminate this evil and push it back into the hole it came from. I ask these things, Father, humbly, in Jesus' name. Amen. Love you, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you as well.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great story. It's going to be a great book for somebody to write. Yeah, it's going to be great. Hey, you guys have a great night. I'm going to go get on a podcast. And God bless you all. God bless you.
God bless
All right,
you.
brother. See ya.
Rising from the fight for the forgotten and the free, exposing rigged machines, Coomer's lies, Dominion's deceit, pays a grand each day, shielding truth from corrupt halls, but he won't back down, standing tall through it all. Martin, Tina Peters break the chains that bind her tight, hand count votes and one day bring the fraud to light. No more mailing scams, no machines to steal the night, restore the people's voice, make Colorado right. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true, badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have their say. It's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Help the single moms, bring back trade school strong, opportunity for youth, where the brave belong. Audit every NGO, ban the wolves that roam, reclaim our stolen land, bring the power home. Eric Coomer's fraud, Dominion's rigged design, expose the stolen votes, cross a dangerous line. No more victimhood, no chains on you and me. He's running for governor for real liberty. Smash the fraud machine, pardon heroes jailed for the have-nots. Rising truth will never fail. One warrior defies the corrupt elite. Colorado reborn, strong on our feet. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have the say. Governor Oltmann, it's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Governor Oltmann, freedom forever, Colorado rise. Governor Rise up untamed, in the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave belong. Yeah, untamed and wild, forever strong. Play it again all night long. Time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew.